Good evening and welcome to Netzach Yisrael's daily Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Tonight we're going to learn Siman Mem Aleph, Hilchos B'tzias Hapas of Berachos HaMoitzi, the halachas of cutting bread and making the bracha of HaMoitzi beforehand, Ovoya Tzifim, and there are 10 Tzifim. Tzif Aleph. Alechem Gomor Shu Mechameshes Minei Dagam. On proper bread, which is from one of the 5 grains. Mevarchen Lefan of HaMoitzi, one says the bracha of HaMoitzi beforehand. And after that, one benches, one says the Berachos HaMazon. Din pasavar v'kisnin, the halachas of the literally the bread in pocket, meaning the cakes, pies, and other types of mazonos bread. Yavoya v'siman mem ches, that will be explained later on in Siman mem ches. What are these 5 grains? They include bread made from wheat, barley, rye, oats, and spelt. Seif base. One must be vigilant, one must be careful not to interrupt at all, to washing one's hands and saying that bracha, and saying the bracha on Moitzi before bread. That one can answer amen to any bracha that one hears during that time. Only bias the bias, and one should wait less than the time it takes to walk 22 amos, or walk from house to house, or at least from one part of the house to another. I feel even a little walk. Likewise, talking about something unrelated to the meal is considered an interruption, meaning obviously that something that is related to the meal, like could you pass me the knife or could you pass me the salt, would not be considered a hefsek. Or b'diavad im hefsek les lambar, and b'diavad ipso facto, if one did interrupt, one doesn't need to worry about it. Or eventually also is a massive in the time, so long as one didn't do anything in particular in between, or talk about something totally unrelated, because that would be an interruption, that would be removing one's mind from the matter, and one would need to wash one's hand again a second time. Sif Gimel. One should cut the bread in the place that is best on the bread, to show respect for the bracha. And usually the optimum place, the best choice piece of the bread is the hard bit, the bit that's crustier, the bit that is baked the best, which is the place opposite the split. Because at the place where the bread begins to bake, there is some pressure generated against the dough until the opposite side opens up a little. That's for a regular young person. However, an elderly person who it's difficult for them to eat hard, crusty bread, they should cut the bread in the softer place. And because one should not interrupt between cutting and saying the bracha HaMoitzi to eating, therefore one should cut it like a ring around the bread, enough, not deep enough that if one would hold one end of the bread, the rest of the bread wouldn't come with. Otherwise it would be considered like a piece. And we need to ensure that when one says HaMoitzi, one should do it when the bread is still complete. So one should cut it into the bread a little bit, but not enough that if you lift up one side, the other side would break off. One should leave it joined to the bread, so one's cut through the crust, and say the bracha of HaMoitzi. And only after saying, completing the bracha, one should separate it, but one should finish saying the bracha while the bread is still complete. Likewise, when one is cutting a loaf that isn't actually complete, one shouldn't cut it totally before the bracha, in order that it should be bigger while it's still while one still says the bracha. It's more choshev, it's more prominent looking, somehow, the bigger it is. But on Shabbos one shouldn't cut into the loaf properly until after the bracha, in order that the loaf should be actually shalem, should be totally complete. custom is to make a little scratch on it, but not to cut totally into the loaf. Most of our bread nowadays is actually fits this criteria. Even on the weekday, for a softer cake or a softer loaf, one should make a bracha before cutting it, because there is no real delay in breaking the bread. So something like a French loaf, if one, harder loaf, if one wanted to cut that, the halacha would be that one should cut into it during the week. But certainly, if it was a softer, a softer bun, which one would just pull apart a little bit, there would be no inyan in cutting it. Siv Dalad. One shouldn't cut a very small piece, because that makes one look miserly. Nor should one cut a piece bigger than a kavetza, because that makes one look gluttonous. Specifically, that applies when one's eating alone. However, if one is eating with many people and one needs to divide out the bread to give everyone a piece the size of a kazayas, then a person can cut as much as one needs. However, on Shabbos that doesn't apply, even if one's eating by themselves. Or a person can cut off as much as he needs for the whole make away the Shabbos, because the honor of Shabbos supersedes looking gluttonous. When we look gluttonous, anyone looking will believe that when he's doing it, to show the beauty and how much he treasures the Seudah on Shabbos, that this person really wants to eat a lot. One should eat this piece that he said the bracha on and cut. You should eat that piece before any other bread. Again, to show how much he treasures the mitzvah, because that is the piece that he said the bracha on. Nor should one divvy out that piece of bread to a non-Jewish person, or to an animal, or to a bird, to one's pet. Before one says a bracha, one should hold the bread with both hands, with all 10 fingers. His 2 hands that have 10 fingers, corresponding to the 10 mitzvahs that are connected with bread. What are they? Firstly, one shouldn't plow the wheat field, with an ox and a donkey. Kilayim is a prohibition against mixture of different species, so one shouldn't grow wheat and barley, for example, in Israel, together in too close proximity. Lekech, shikha, and peah are the 3 mitzvahs about gleaning, forgotten sheaves, and the corner of the field that one should leave behind for the poor. Leisachsaim is the mitzvah not to muzzle. Leisachsaim sharbedisha, one shouldn't muzzle one's animal while they're working in the field. And finally, Truma, Masarish, Masashedi, and Chala, the 4 different tithes and gifts that one should give one should take from one's produce. And therefore, again, corresponding to this, there are 10 brachas in the bracha, Baruch Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam hamotzii lechem min haaretz. V'yud tevis b'pasuk einei kol elach yisaber v'atam neisei lehem esachlam v'itzai. V'yud teva, which is a pasuk that talks about the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everyone looks to him, and he's it's the pasuk leading up to B'seches Yodecha that talks specifically about the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem provides for all. V'yud tevis b'pasuk eretz chitas ayron. There's 10 words in the pasuk that talks about the 7 special species that are unique to Israel. V'yud tevis b'pasuk v'yitan lecha, and 10 words in the pasuk v'yitan lecha that talks about the brachas that Yitzchak promised to Yaakov. One should raise the bread slightly when one says Hashem's name. And on Shabbos one should raise both loaves. One should make this bracha with intent, thinking what he's saying. One should be careful to properly say the word hamoitzi lechem min haaretz, the hey at the beginning. When saying the bracha, one shouldn't say lechem min haaretz, because the lechem min sounds like it's one word. One should say lechem, pause it a microsecond, and then say min, so that men is not swallowed up with the 2 words. one should eat straight away after reciting the bracha, because it's forbidden to interrupt between saying a bracha and starting to eat, even say amen someone else's bracha. One should eat a kazayas without a hefsek. A kazayas ranges from 26 to 36 grams, depending on which authority we follow for that. Sif Vav. Mitzvah al-Havi ala shulchan melech kodim sheyiftzah is a mitzvah to bring salt onto the table before one cuts the bread. V'yitbal prusas hamoitzi b'melech, one should dip a piece of the bread into salt. V'vish al shulchan timel mizbeach v'achila l'karban, because the table is comparable to an altar and eating is comparable to a sacrifice. V'ne'emar, and it says in the pasuk, al kol korban chatak v'melech, on all of your sacrifices you should offer salt. V'vish al shulchan timel mizbeach. And likewise, because the table is comparable to an altar, one should be careful not to kill even a louse, to kill any insects on it. And the Mishnah Berurah mentions, according to Kabbalistic reasons, it's proper to dip the bread into salt 3 times. So if that's your custom or you see people doing it, not to criticize them. Sif Zayin. If one gives out pieces of the bread to the people sitting around the table, lo yizrakaim, one shouldn't throw the bread. It's also lizrakas apas, because it's forbidden to throw bread. Likewise, one shouldn't place it into one's hand, but rather one should place the bread in front of them. Sif Ches. Mitzvah livtzoyas apas hachashuva yoisa. There is a mitzvah to cut the bread which is most prominent. And therefore, if one has 2 pieces in front of them, one's a piece and one's a complete loaf, and he intends on eating both of these, specifically during the meal, and they're both made from the same grain, even though the complete loaf is only a bun and it's smaller than the larger loaf that's already cut, it might not be quite as clean, it might not be quite as good quality. Nonetheless, one should cut the complete one, because halachically that is considered more prominent. However, if they're not from the same grain, but the complete one is from a lesser quality grain. For example, the complete one is only spelt bread. However, the cut piece is wheat bread. Even if it's smaller, one would say a bracha on the wheat one. If the complete one is from barley, even though in actual fact it is of lesser quality than wheat, nonetheless, nonetheless, because it's also complete and barley is mentioned specifically in the pasuk along with wheat. Therefore, someone who wants to be vigilant about this, someone who literally fears heaven, one should honor, as it were, also the barley and complete bread. So how does one do this? So how does one honor both, show honor to both breads together? One places the little piece underneath the complete one and cut through the 2 of them together. If both of them are complete, or both of them are pieces and they're both from the same type of grain, one should make a bracha on the nicer looking of the 2. And if they're both the same quality, one should make a bracha on the larger one. And again, he's going to emphasize shortly that this specifically only applies if one's going to eat both breads during the meal. Sif Tes. If one has in front of them bread baked by a Jewish person and bread baked by a non-Jewish person, and this is not something he's particular about, meaning you regularly eat bread even if it's not baked by a Jew. If they're both complete, or they're both pieces, or they're both equal in size, or they're both from the same size, from the same type of grain, Yavarcha Pas Yisrael. So everything else permitting, one should choose the Pas Yisrael. That is considered more choshev, more prominent. However, if the bread baked by a non-Jewish baker is cleaner. It says one should pick whichever one likes. However, if the balabayas, the owner of the house, is particular and he doesn't normally eat such bread, however, it's brought to the table for the sake of a guest, then one should remove it from the table until after he said amoitzi, so he's saying the bracha on the one that he wants and he would normally eat. All these halachas that we've just been talking about the past couple of seifim, about the precedence, which loaf of bread takes precedence and is more prominent, only applies if one intends on eating both of them during the meal. However, if one only intends on eating one of these loaves during the meal, he should cut whichever one he wants to eat, and not to worry at all about which one is more prominent. Thank you for watching.